Welcome to the 2021 Project Fairway Seattle Forum, presented by Toyota and Wall Golf, held in the PGD Global Country Club. Today we have a very special panel, Breakfast of Champions. Thank you, ladies, for being here. And first, I would like to introduce Kathy Kim. Kathy Kim is a proud member of PGA. The program she went through gave her the education to help her further her career as a teacher. Her experiences within the game industry has lit a fire to grow the game within minority groups. In the last few years, the PGA of America has supported her desires to make golf more accessible to everyone. Kathy currently works with the PGA to grow the game in diversity and the organization. Thank you, Kathy, for being here.
Thanks for having me, Sadena.
Yes. Next, we have Erin Lee. Now, Erin Lee, we have a long history. I grew up playing junior golf with Erin Lee. We did not like when Erin Lee was at the tournament. She would win everything. She had such a successful career as a junior. And as an amateur in 2014, she was on the Curtis Cup team as a player for the USA. Named 2011, 2012 Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, two-time first-team All-American at UCLA, two-time winner in 2017 on the Symetra Tour, and also 6 top 10s. Her latest highest accomplishment on the LPGA, tied for 7th in the Bank of Hope Founders Cup in 2018. Thank you, Erin, for being here. I love to see it.
Thanks for having me, Sadena.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And next, we have the wonderful Leslie. Leslie, I just want to say, it's been a long time coming. Everybody's been talking about you. You've been the hype of Wall Golf. I'm going to be real with you.
After that introduction about Erin, oh my gosh.
Right. You see what I'm saying? It's intimidating. It's intimidating.
Yes. You could have kept this short.
In a golf tournament with you. So now we have Leslie, who I would love for her to tell you her accolades and introduce herself. She's a phenomenal amateur player there at Wall Golf.
Thanks, Sadena. Well, let me start with saying I'm honored to just be in this conversation with all of you. I moved to the accents from South Georgia. I moved to Washington and moved to Poulsbo in 1995 after starting my work career. But I was able to get an education through golf. I played basketball and softball in high school and then was able to attend University of Memphis on a golf scholarship. And so what a great way to get an education, right, as y'all have experienced. So moved here in 1995. As a matter of fact, I lived in Poulsbo. Erin, and played out at Gold Mountain. And so about 17 years ago, I started working with a company called Slalom Consulting that has been a fantastic sponsor or supporter of me in my work-life integration and my work-life balance. And so I've had the great opportunity to play in amateur, mid-amateur events and now senior events. So I'm glad I was a little bit older than you two and didn't have to compete against you in our Wall Golf and in our PNGA and in USGA events. A little bit about me.
Leslie, I would have beat you up, Leslie, for sure. Because I know I can see Leslie being like the fist pumper for sure.
Absolutely. I'm a little intense. Yeah, absolutely.
I love it, Leslie. And it's really cool. What age did you fall in love with the game? And what was it like growing up watching, the LPGA? Who did you root for?
Well, I started playing golf when I was 13. And so my parents lived on 2 acres and I started out hitting little wiffle balls. And I was playing basketball and softball. And then I fell in love with the game because I was depending on me. The shots were on me. It was, if something happened, that was all on me. It was based on my decision or my execution. And so with the LPGA, I loved watching Meg Mallon and Nancy Lopez. I've never been a long driver of the ball, deadly accurate. I can get up and down out of a garbage can. And so I loved Meg Mallon and Nancy Lopez because of their short game. They were very accurate, had a short game. And so I could really relate to them.
You know, when it comes to those two ladies, they really made a name for themselves on the tour and they're women to look up to. Kathy, you know, I know you first fell in love with the game at a young age. We all start young. What was it like for you growing up watching the LPGA and you know, because of your position now, what really drives you to push the needle further?
Yeah, so I actually didn't realize how much I love the game until I started teaching, because it's not that I was trying to persuade anybody to love golf, but I would just find myself telling my students different stories, you know, about my golf career, or just times that I would go play with my dad, you know, and it like dawned on me how much I actually love it. And my husband calls me a complete golf nut because it's literally 24 hours a day golf, 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 golf all the time. And so when I was growing up and watching the LPGA, I think my biggest inspiration for my time was definitely Sari Pak when she won the US Open. Like that literally opened the floodgates for Korean golfers everywhere. And so that's where it kind of started for me, where I actually started to find interest in watching the game, was through that. And then, you know, Annika, she's always been a favorite of mine. And then there's some like smaller names at the time. There was a woman named Miyeon Kim, and she was a phenomenal player, and she was my height. So I would watch her and I'm like, she's like 5'2". They called her like Super Peanut in Korea, right? Because she's just so little. And it was just so impressive to be able to watch those women play and just beat the crap out of each other on the golf course.
On the golf course, right? And you know what I like that you said is that, you know, and it goes hand in hand with what I was saying to Leslie. It's just like having someone that you kind of feel like you can connect with. You, Aaron, what exactly, who did you root for growing up? Because you just killed everybody. So I'm curious
Oh,
who you
no, please.
She,
You know what's funny?
I just need to say, Aaron, like, I'm being serious. Like, I would tell my dad, like, is Aaron in? Like, the night before. Because I wasn't paying, is Aaron in the tournament? Or, like, you know, I was just, and I shouldn't be concerned. It should definitely just me be focusing on the golf course.
Right,
But I was so worried about, like, is she going to, like, you know, have a bad
you know what's
day?
funny? It's like, the funny thing is, it's like I was thinking the same thing as I was being, you know, registered into the junior golf tournaments too. I was like always like concerned about who else was playing the tournament. So it's like I was in that same, you know, same level as you were, Sadena. So, but the funny thing is, like, I started golf because of my dad. He watched Sari Pak win, I think it was that US Open. And that's kind of like what inspired him to get my sister and I into golf. And I think that's just kind of like where the ball like kind of went running from there. And that's how we really kind of got into golf as a family. And it just naturally became like a thing for us to play competitively junior golf and then get, you know, a scholarship at school. And then, you know, even better would be like turning professional and having success there. But for me, growing up over the years, the professional player that I kind of followed on LPGA was Lorena Ochoa. I just loved how she carried herself on and off the golf course. She was very humble, very modest, very warm-hearted, and I just kind of loved the story that she had growing up in Mexico and the things that she would do to open up golf as an opportunity for the younger generation.
And hearing your story, what you said about Lorena going back home, finding a way to grow the game the best way that she knows how, if it's with juniors, if it's with women, if it's with different athletes from on different in different associations, whatever it may be. This is why we're here. I think with the game of golf, we have a purpose to help impact others into the game as well. But with that said, speaking of impact, I have a fun question for you guys. What is your guys' go-to shot under pressure? Leslie, I'm going to choose you last because you're going to come up with something good. You win every single time. Okay. I'm going to choose you last. You know, because, yeah, okay. I just want everybody to kind of get their word out because, you know, you're going to be giving out a lot of good information that all of us need to jot down, okay? But, Kathy, give me your go-to shot under pressure. Go.
My go-to shot under pressure is the 90-yard shot. You can put me anywhere 90 yards. And I'm like super happy with that shot.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, what club? What club? Now you have to
I was
tell
going
me.
to
Was
say,
it like
yeah,
a
what club? Yeah.
Yeah, it
is it
would
like
be
a
my gap
knockdown
wedge.
90? Is it like a
Yep.
high
It's
stop?
like a 3/4 gap wedge, and it just goes straight. Like I can close my eyes once I've set up and go. And that's my go-to
You said
shot.
90?
Yeah,
You said 90? Got
90.
it. Okay. It comes natural for her. I love that. Okay,
Well,
I
I'm not the
told you.
longest hitter, so.
I love it. I wasn't lying, Leslie. You still are last. Okay, I'm just saying. Erin, what's your go-to shot under pressure?
My go-to shot would be the same as Cassie. I'm in that like 70 to 85 yard range, so like a nice 60 to 56 degree wedge.
Wow.
Nice,
First of
Erin.
all, let's
Must be
talk about
nice.
you're using a 60-degree wedge. Hold on, you're using a 60-degree wedge for a 80-yard shot?
It really depends. Consider the downhill, downwind.
Yeah.
Landed about like 5 to 7 yards before the pin.
Relax, Erin. Gosh, you just trying to beat up on these women. Okay, Leslie, obviously last but not least, because we have more questions for you. What's your go-to shot when you win all those championships?
Well, this you guys gonna laugh. Me talking about being the short hitter, right? Mine is my 9-wood, and it's really a hybrid now, but I still have the 9-wood head on it. Put me 150 yards, or put a 9-wood in my hand, and I'm gonna knock it tight. So you don't want me to be at that distance. You do not want a 9-wood, actually a 7-wood as well. But that's my go-to. Really, in college or playing in the USGA events and the women's AMs and even the mid AMs. I was right at that 145, 155 area. So yeah, that's when Erin's like, I'm like, did she just say a gap wedge, 80 yards? Ooh, okay. So not my game, right? Yes, I'm working with Sean Farmer and trying to stay, physically fit. But yeah, my fairwoods, I've always been a good fairway wood player, very accurate off the tee. Actually, you can give me a driver as well. And I'm very comfortable with that. So
I just got a 9-wood, Leslie. Just got one in my bag.
Did you?
Yeah. What is up with this 9-wood stuff? I can't even think of visually looking at a 9-wood. So women are now like, you guys are really liking the 9-woods.
Well, okay. So for you, Sadena, it would be more, a 9-wood would probably be the equivalent of like a 7-iron. But for me, I'm replacing my 5-iron with the 9-wood. So it launches way higher and it spins so much more than the 5-iron that it just sits on the green versus a 5-iron. I mean, that thing's like a torpedo for me.
Just hits and rolls,
So,
just goes.
Yeah. So
what's in your bag,
is so much better.
What's in
my bag?
Yeah, we got the dopest, by the way, the dopiest, the swaggiest golf professional right here. Woman professional. Now, and I'm saying that because she's chill, she's cool, she can talk to you about anything, but she can coach you to victory, So
oh my God.
I'm just
Hype woman. I love it.
I'm curious to know what you got in your bag, Kathy.
Okay, so I imagine it's pretty close to Leslie's. So I have driver, 3-wood, 5-wood, 7-wood. I just pulled out my 5-iron for the 9-wood, 6, all the way down to sand, and then I have a lob. So is that kind of the setup you have, Leslie?
Yep, absolutely. The 5-iron came out a while ago. And so I go down after pitching wedge. I actually have a 54. Actually, I have a 58, a 54, and a 59. Actually, I was trying to keep the differences right in the wedges a little more consistent. So yeah, very similar.
Yeah,
we're definitely being nerds of golf right now, and I don't know what's going on. What do you have in your bag, Erin? I know you have your club settings, but what brand, what manufacturer do you have in your bag?
I have all Callaways.
Yeah.
Nice Callaway.
Okay, so Kathy does as well. What do you have in your bag, Leslie?
I have Mizuno irons. I have an older ping putter, Mizuno irons, and I have Titleist woods.
Okay, so you guys are definitely really good. Okay, we already knew this while we're on here. But Mizuno irons, I'm gonna tell you, Leslie, is a club that I loved growing up. Never owned a set. Never owned a set.
Why?
Couldn't afford a set. I couldn't afford a set. And then when you make it on tour, you got people coming at you with different brands. You're like, I'll try it. I'm like, okay, I love that brand. I love it. I love it. I love it. But secretly, I just love how clean and classy Mizuno's are. And then they're the hardest club to hit when it comes to their blades. You know, so it was a good club for me to like, I would take someone else's club out of their bag and I would train with it just because it was just a
Yeah,
small
remember,
thing.
I'm a gray hair over here, so I don't have blades. I've got the JPXs. So that would be you and Aaron and Kathy in that blade category over there.
Leslie, I was just trying to help you out, saying that you hit blades, but you called
I
yourself
appreciate
out.
I appreciate
trying
that
to
vote of
explain.
confidence.
I was trying. You know, how are you guys preparing for your next round of golf? Like how, you know, give women all the inspiration that are interested in getting into the game.
Yeah, so when I have a beginner golfer come for a lesson, right? Like just that the initiative to book a lesson tells me that she's very, very interested, right? So I don't take that for granted by any means. Like when she comes, I'm like, I'm an open book. You can ask me any question that you want. Ask me all of the questions to make sure that you're comfortable so you can come by yourself and you'll feel okay. Because usually I would say the top 3 questions are, what do I wear? Right? Because that's a big one. Like she doesn't want to feel out of place. So it's what do I wear? What do I need to bring with me? Do I need to bring a full set? Do I even need a full set? Can I borrow clubs? Right? Those are the equipment question. And then something as simple as, where do I go to check in or grab golf balls? Or is the putting green, the practice green free to putt on, right? Can I come there? So just simple questions like that we probably take for granted, right? Because we've been in the game for so long. For somebody that is brand new, it could be very intimidating. So just to be able to have somebody, you know, a PGA professional or LPGA professional just answer all of the questions for you, that in itself, I think is a big relief for a lot of women. So yeah, so that's what I normally do is I just like, ask me all the questions.
Yeah, and that's what I like about, you know, you, Kathy. You're very, very, very outspoken and open, and two, you're not kind of hesitant to push the needle yourself. Because you know, some women are even just they feel silly to ask a simple question like, "What's a birdie?" So I'm with you on that, and I think women deserve to be in the space as well. Aaron, you know, if you could give some mastering advice to a player who really wants to be on the LPGA tour, you know, and it's you know, and I know we all made that transition of nerves and all that stuff. What advice would you give someone who is their rookie year, first tournament out there on the LPGA?
The biggest advice I would give them, just from my personal experience, would be just keeping it simple. You know, you got to this point, you succeeded in your own way and your own routine, whatever you did. So just keep doing you and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Like sometimes we get so caught up on like making golf more perfect, but there's, you know, in reality, you can never make it perfect. You know, one of my things that I kind of struggled with, especially as a rookie, was I wanted to get better in every aspect of golf. So, you know, I tried to see all the different coaches and try to perfect the game. And I think, unfortunately, you end up stressing yourself out even more, like mentally, emotionally, physically, like all aspects. And so, and then eventually it kind of, you struggle in your own way, and then you feel the burnout. And I think all, you know, amongst every sport, all athletes experience that burnout, whatever, you know, in whatever shape and form. So definitely, like, the biggest advice is just, you know, keep doing what you've been doing up to this point.
Yeah, and you know, that's really good advice, because that leads into my next question. You know, the game can be rewarding, but it can also be grueling mentally. What tools have you been using mentally to stay in the game?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I was kind of late to the game on the whole aspect and importance of the mental game, of how strong you have to be mentally, especially for a game like golf. I grew up with a tiger mom, and in the Asian culture, that's what we call our mothers or our parents. They're really strict, very. They kind of take out the emotion and the sensitivity out of when they're out there to really drill the kids and trying to make dream about making their kids superstars.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like, it was expected that your mental game would grow as you played better, but that's not true. And I definitely learned that the hard way. It wasn't until I went to UCLA, and when you go to, especially when you play for a Division 1 school like UCLA, you definitely have a bunch of resources. We had sports psychologists. And so that wasn't, yeah. And then that's kind of like where I got educated on the importance of the mental game and
Okay.
how you have to work on it literally every day on and off the golf course. Because golf definitely can bite you in the butt.
It does.
It
It does.
it can be a tee shot that can scary, or a 3-foot putt. We've definitely been there where we feel really nervous and we feel the tension in our shoulders, and it eventually gets to our head. So
Mhm.
for me, like the last couple of years, it's always been about practicing your mental game. And I think, like, for if you ask every athlete, they're like, oh yeah, like the mental game is 95% of the game, but how often are you really practicing your mental state? Like, if anything, we're really out there hitting balls like hour after hour. We're out there for 4 to 5 hours, and then after that, are you really spending another like 5 hours on your mental game? Like, what does that look like? So for me, it's just like, I mean, for everyone, it's really different, like how you approach your mental game on and off the golf course, whether that be reading books, working with a sports psychologist,
Mhm.
or finding a way to practice being mentally strong on the golf course.
Yeah, yeah, and I think what really makes us mentally strong, growing up as kids, I know for me especially, was taking all of the information that my father was giving me. My dad was a tiger dad, my dad was very, very strict. It was, and it was all understandable, and it's all understandable to this point because I had to be strong. My dad was a tough dad, but I think he made me tough enough to keep fighting and not take no for an answer, right? So you're right, we're not taught it well enough. We're not taught it early enough because, and then sometimes we get so caught up in the sauce, like we're winning everything, and then we lose track of what really worked for us, right? Kathy, what tips are you giving, you know, some of the people that you work with and that you instruct? Like, what advice are you giving all of your players for the mental side? Sorry.
So yeah. I think it depends on the age. I'll give you an example. I have the cutest little 10-year-old girl. She started last year and she won her first US Kids tournament really early. Like, she entered her first one, it, didn't know what to expect. It went fine. Then the second one she won. So now, fast forward 8 months later, right? Her mom is like, I think she needs to quit golf. I don't think she has any talent in this. Right. So I'm like, and you could tell that the
That is actually
girl,
pretty funny. Like, that's laughable. Yeah,
isn't
we can
that
laugh at
crazy?
that.
Well,
That's
so
hilarious.
she doesn't, mom doesn't play golf, bless her heart. She wants her kid to succeed, right? And she wants her kid to succeed fast because she sees other 10-year-old girls that are a little bit bigger than her, right? Just beating her week in, week out. So therefore, she doesn't think that her daughter has any talent. So two very, very different perspectives that I have to take care of as a coach, right? Number one, it's the mom perspective. And then number two, it's the kids perspective, the juniors perspective. And I could tell she loves golf. Like, she loves this. She's in and out of the golf course almost every day after school, 3-4 hours by herself. And she practices. I don't know how many 10-year-olds would willingly go do that by themselves, right? That's a, for me as a coach, I'm like, that's a little different, right? And so I had to have the conversation
and it's a
with the mom.
female.
Yeah. She's so adorable, and she loves the friendships that she's created around the golf course. Like it's her entire world now. And so just to have thought that her mom was going to pull her out of that, right? And I don't think she recognized what it meant to her daughter. So we had a talk, we had an adult talk, and I said, listen, her tournament that she won, I imagine you've been basing your judgment off of that one tournament. And I'm going to tell you right now, that tournament was a fluke. She shouldn't have won that tournament. She just started golfing, right? So she did great, but we can't base it off of that tournament. And so from there, that's when it started to click for the mom. And then I had to talk to, of course, the player. And I'm like, do you really like doing this? And she's like, I love this. I love doing it, right? But it was the pressure of the mom that was, I mean, expressions just changed, right? The second mom comes through that door during the lesson, very, very different kid. And so talking to her about, hey, it's okay. You know, you're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days, but let's figure out why you had the bad days, you know? And I don't really love saying stay positive, because I feel like that's kind of, I don't know, if you tell somebody to stay positive, great. But what do you do with that? Right? So
it's so like
yeah, and people used to tell me that all the time, even as a junior. They'd be like, oh, it's okay, stay positive. I'm like, all right, thanks. Like what more than that? So for me as a coach, I tell them it's you have to stay positive, but when you're not, let's figure out why you're not. We have to recognize those feelings, because everybody has diverse feelings. It's not like you're just positive all the time. So let's recognize why you're not feeling positive and figure out what the root cause of that is. And then let's start playing some golf and just start recognizing the different levels of feelings. So from the coach's perspective, and of course, I can't take my own advice when I'm playing on the golf course.
Never.
You know, that's
not even
different story, right? But as a coach, it's just a matter of, you know, being empathetic and trying to recognize when somebody is in the dump, right? Mentally in the dump, and trying to just get them out of it and helping them to recognize why they feel the way that they do. Because I think there has to be, the solution has to come from facing the feeling first, as opposed to just covering it up with, oh, let's just stay positive, guys. It just doesn't work.
And I think Kathy and Aaron, you know, it's also about what is the definition of success. And so in athletics, many times it's, did you win? But, you know, success is different for everyone, right? And every kid, and, you know, every woman that's starting to play the game. And so many times, you know, everyone else's expectations, Aaron, to your point about other people's expectations and other people's thoughts on what you should be doing and all that. But I think if a person can find, what is success to you, you know, and particularly for the kids, right? Of this little girl, how exciting, right? She's having fun and she loves her friends. Like, I mean, how exciting is that for the rest of her life to be able to go to the golf course and have friends, right? And you know, Sadena, you talked about having you know, the longer we play, the more scar tissue we have in this game, right? From the highs and the lows and the disappointments and all, but the friendships, right? And I love the PNGA book about friendships and championships. And because so many times, right, the excitement, many times going to the golf course is who you're playing with, right? And about the conversations you have. And really, at the end of the day, can you even remember what each other shot? I mean, what you remember is how everyone made you feel, right? And sort of with Maya Angelou, you know, many things that she has said, right? It's very much about how you make people feel in those experiences. And so I think for many times for all of us, right? And we all kind of lose that competing. But we have to figure out what is success for all of us. And Kathy, good for you working with the little one, encourage the little one to like keep her love for the game.
Yeah,
you know,
she loves it so much. And I do think I totally agree with you. There has to be some sort of goal in mind, always, whether you're a beginner or whether you're a professional golfer or you're in the high elite amateur circuit. there's always going to be a goal. And, you know, first question I ask to a golfer is, hey, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to be the range pro or are you actually trying to go score? Because if you're trying to go score, then we have to approach this a little bit differently. If you're just wanting to be the range pro, then by all means, there's the map for you right there. Go for it, right? So yeah, definitely setting goals and figuring out what success means to that person. And more often than not, I get so surprised on some of these students' answers on what they want. Like some people, like some women are like, I just want to be able to tag along with my husband and not embarrass him, right? That's success to her, right? Whereas for me, when I was growing up playing, my success was trying to shoot the lowest score possible, right? So it's just, you just never know what it is. And I think it's really important that people recognize why they're playing golf.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know, and that's so funny that you bring that up because I've never actually, had a conversation of why people get started in the game of golf, and that's a good conversation starter, let alone to help someone succeed, whatever they would like to succeed. And a lot of them is just like, hey, I just want to learn how to swing and maybe hit a few balls because I want to be inside the room. My boss, he plays these golf tournaments. I don't know how to play, especially for women. How can I be in that room? Okay, can I get a couple lessons? Can I learn this? And they, after a while they start to get hooked. And after a while they're also in those rooms. So golf brings so much, and we can't get lost in the sauce. Like the mom, she should not get lost in the sauce. Her daughter's ecstatic to be on the course, right?
She got lost in that sauce like real fast. Okay.
Winning, okay, bye. And then
I told her, Sadena, I was like, if she was my daughter, I would be jumping for joy. That's what I said to her.
Her daughter is about to be set up for success in so many different areas. Because I'm gonna be real with you, and Leslie knows, golf brings so much to your life in every aspect. You learn more about yourself as a human. You learn how to control your emotions. They put you, like I just said, they put you in rooms that you never would have imagined. You're now talking to people that actually want to get to know you. And it's silly how golf brings that networking connectivity, because golf alone, the sport, is a very hard sport. And people who that can play it kind of look up to you, or look up to whoever it may be, in the sense of, how many hours did you put in? You're a hard worker, you're dedicated, you're mentally in control, and people see you differently. So yeah, she's already set up for success, the fact that she loves the game, right? And I don't think anybody should pull her away from anything that she loves.
Okay, so I mean, follow up to that quick story, right? Follow up to that. The next time I saw her mom and the daughter, right? Mom did a complete 180 in attitude. Just was so supportive, wanted to make sure she wasn't going to overdo it during practice. It was a complete 180, because at first second there, I thought I lost a student because I was honest. And when I saw them, they booked another lesson, they came back, they were practicing, and mom was just so supportive. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, maybe over this pandemic, it's been a huge eye opener for all of us, that there's certain things that sometimes we just need to address, and we need to be more transparent. We need to have those uncomfortable conversations. So good on you on that. I appreciate that. We're closing out here, guys. I'm so sorry that we're closing out, because I'm actually enjoying myself with these conversations. But we're going to end with some fun ones, okay? Some beauty mystery secrets, okay? I have 0, so I'm trying to steal some from you guys. What things do you guys carry in your golf bag? What beauty mystery secret? Okay, Erin, I know you got a few. Tell me.
Oh, geez. When I had a staff bag, and you can fit a lot more stuff in there than those carry bags, I would carry floss. You just never know, especially with the pro-ams. I've learned, like, you just never know how you're gonna appear to other people, so you gotta kind of bring your personal best. So
you are so
yeah, you just never know when you're gonna need it. And
some
then
gum.
I also
People get really close out there, and it's like, whoa, okay, I'm prepared. Are you? You're not prepared. You want
no, most of the time not. And then I also had gum, and I still carry gum to this day.
so she's
Not just for like the
hygienist.
breath, but it's for like just to kind of help me stay sane on the golf course. Just because especially when you're on the golf course and you're playing tournaments. For me, my outlet was chewing gum. Like I wasn't the type to eat on the golf course or even drink water, which is terrible, very, very bad habit. But my outlet was chewing gum. It was very silent. You can just do it under your breath, but yeah.
Okay, so you weren't smacking it like, and people swing when they're saying like,
Oh yeah, totally. Gotta get into their
oh,
heads.
sorry, you were hitting. You were hitting. Sorry. I'm a goofball. So, Erin, it's oral hygiene. Kathy, what's your go-to mystery secret in your bag?
Oh, I actually brought it with me.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
I love you too. So it's a powder sunscreen. So, and that way I don't have to get, anything on my hands, and I can degrease, when I'm on the golf course, because I get spotted all the time. So you just never know.
You never, of course. It's that Kathy
you don't want to be greasy. So
Kathy Kim's out on the course. Oh wow! So you got to be prepared. No, and I love the powdered sunscreen. I'm a huge fan of it. It's because the oils and the liquid, it kind of clogs my pores. It makes me it gives me the shimmery shine. Like I jumped out of baby oil, and it's just not. It's supposed to be sexy, supposedly baby oil, but I don't see it as sexy on my face. So the powdered stuff works very, very well. Leslie, what do you have in your mystery secret golf bag? What comes out that people are like, whoa, okay, Leslie?
I have a little aiming juice in my bag, and my aiming juice is Fireball, or sometimes there's a little rum.
Give me sound.
I'm sorry. I must have misunderstood the question.
Right.
Well, there's no. So I was going
Like
to say,
direction.
the beauty. I was like, oh, Sadena. I went with the mystery side, not the beauty products. I can barely, I barely have on mascara, and eyeliner. So,
No, I'm being serious, Leslie. Like now, I cannot wait to go to Washington and play because we have some oil juice that we need to discuss over. We have a lot of things to talk about.
Juice.
I don't know what she said. She called it something, and I thought it was
aiming
juice.
Aiming juice, my aiming juice. And actually, I learned some new aiming juice in the the WA Golf Senior Am about 2 weeks ago from a local player. So I've got I got a little coconut rum, kind of creep. Yeah. Right.
How are we not friends?
So do you just take one, like just a shot, the whole thing at like kabam, you're done?
Yeah, just use it at the turn. It's one of those like you get on that bogey roll, after about 3 or 4 of those, you're like, so we got to break this, like something,
3 or 4? Oh no, 3 or 4 bogeys.
Bogeys. Oh no. No, I'm a lightweight. Girl, if I have that many, it better be in a casual round, because
Leslie, you're not taking 3 to 4 shots out there. Maybe we can't be friends.
I wouldn't be able to stand still after half a shot.
No.
Goodness gracious,
usually one shot is about it. And it takes a bit for me to get to the point to pull out the aiming juice, but it's there.
Okay, lightweight.
Emergency.
Okay,
It's an emergency.
We got lightweights on the panel, and I believe Erin's the most quiet person for this subject, so she probably is the most lightweight.
Geez.
Like she can't even have a shot.
Oh, for sure.
She cannot survive. Okay, last question. This is my favorite hole this is my favorite hole. Yes, it is really my favorite hole since we're speaking about cocktails. We are on the 19th hole, guys. All 4 of us. But what are we talking about in the clubhouse? Are we talking about what we scored, what we shot? Are we talking about business deals? Are we talking about love life? Or are we talking about all the above? Let me know, Kathy. What are you talking about?
I would definitely say number one. The first one.
Sport?
I'm talking about my shots. I'm talking about what was going on the golf course. That's probably all I will be talking about until somebody gets me a drink. And then the subject will change.
So for me, I would have to give her a drink on the 18th hole so she's prepared, because I am not talking about my score, okay? I am not. Leslie, what are you talking about?
Well, first of all, I'd make sure that I had my drink. Kathy and the whole table's got drinks, whatever that adult beverage is, right? I do a lot of work.
Transfusion. I love transfusions. Have you guys tried one?
Right? Oh yes, and I like Vizzies. You know, it's really kind of seasonal, right? If it's like the summer around here, some ciders or a little Vizzy, you know, in there. But actually, all the above, right? My go-to now, Kathy, my go-to is like Sadena, is rum and Diet Coke. I think a little Diet Coke in there, not Coke, but yeah. So after that, right, then usually I ask. I've got a whole usually conversation going on in my head about my own round. And so usually at the table, I'll start asking, and particularly if it was you three, I would be asking you about your parents and your families, and more about what's going on in your lives. And I'm very curious to know about you. So that would be some of my questioning.
That's so sweet.
You've gone soft on us.
Cheers to that, Leslie. Cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers to that.
At the end of the day, so many of us, people talk to us about our scores or wins or losses or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's about each of you, right? And we all have our stories and we all have our experiences, right? And to be out on the golf course together, that would be really super cool, as a matter of fact. So yeah. Sorry.
Oh, Sadena.
So sweet. I love that, and you're right, because it's all really what we really want is to connect with others and create a friendship and a bond. If it turns out to be that way, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Last but not least, we have Erin. Are you talking about your scorecard? Are you talking about some business deals that you want to work and collab with Sadena on, or are you talking about your love life? Let me know, or all the above.
For me, definitely be thinking about my round and just kind of killing myself, like, why did I do that? Why didn't I hit it this way or that way? But definitely Leslie speaks words of wisdom. Like at the end of the day, you know, golf is just a sport. I've definitely learned just recently, like you just have to hit and follow the golf ball. That's it. You know, and just try to enjoy it the best you can, because it's definitely stressful if you make it that way. So might as well enjoy being outside, you know.
Oh my God, you guys are so sweet, and you guys are so right. You know, because I would definitely be talking trash, but because I'm amongst you lovely ladies, and I do have that side of me where I understand how important actually is my only side, how important it is to connect with individuals, and that's why I've had a great chat with you, Kathy. I like talking with you, Erin, and Leslie. Now we are new friends. I'm so happy that we've kind of gotten everyone together, Washingtonians coming together, speaking about the game, speaking about women's empowerment, speaking about the diversity, speaking about the fun stuff that we like to do. I really, really thank you guys for joining us for this beautiful project, Fairway Seattle Female Forum, here on Breakfast of Champions. Let me know if you guys want me to beat you up next week or a year from now. I would love to meet you guys up in Seattle. Again, I still talk trash, even though I know Erin is the one to be, and Leslie. Supposedly, she said she's been working on her game in her sleep. I made that up, Leslie. I don't know what I'm saying.
I do dream about it. Yep. Dream about work as well. According to what's going on. Yep.
I can tell, Leslie.
But I think that's what we should do. I think we should have a game set up in Seattle, and I think we should do this.
We will
on some occasion, whether it's quarterly or we do this every 6 months. We should absolutely do this again.
Okay. Well, hey, you have we have our contacts. I will be annoying, and I'll make sure you hold that up high so we know where to go. And you set it up for us. Who knows? We'll have a
Okay.
good time. But
Us three
thank you
just
guys.
have to like come together and like compete against Sadena against her swag. She's got the most swag on the course.
Dude, right? Even in my hoodie, I got swag. It's
You
hard.
just see her on the golf course, the way that she walks, the way that she carries herself, it's all swag.
But anyway, ladies, you guys have been such awesome panelists. Washingtonians are the nicest, the most welcoming, and the most respected people. And I honestly, enjoy and respect you ladies so much. Thank you for joining, and I can't wait to see you guys soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, ladies.
Move it, take it up, get it, light it up.